Welcome in, faithful. You may be asking me, how does it feel to know the Niners going to the playoffs? One response: feels great, baby. Let's go. Jose, how are you feeling, my friend?
Let's go is freaking right, man. That was one of the most exciting Niner games that I remember in a really long time. And the fact that it came against a divisional rival like the Rams, and hey, we own Los Angeles. We own probably the entire state of California now.
That SoFi crowd, I think, said it all, right?
100%. We have to give credit to the faithful that made the trip down to Los Angeles. You guys were loud, and you could hear it all over the stadium, man. You guys were louder than the Rams fans, and hey, shout out to you guys for making the trip down there. And for those of you that live in LA and went out to the game, I know that the tickets are not cheap to go to that stadium. And the fact that it was a lot of red in there and it was super loud whenever we were on defense, that definitely made a difference. I'm so convinced that actually made a difference in this game. But the actual game itself, what an absolutely just almost it's actually a good representation of this season. We started off super slow. We started off this season 3-5, and this game we were down 17-0. I was already turning the channel back to the Saints Falcons to see if maybe Matty Ice could do us a solid. And the Niners just fought back. The defense, shout out to the defense there in that second half. I thought they were just absolutely phenomenal. Even the secondary, there was a lot of times where Matthew Stafford had nowhere to throw the ball. And that's credit to Emmanuel Mosley. Having him back was absolutely huge. And we were still missing a couple guys. We were missing Josh Norman and K'Wan Williams. And the fact that this secondary was still able to hold up against Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee and OBJ, and it allowed those guys at the front seven to get a lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford, especially in that second half. And I think that ended up being the difference in that game. You talk about the playoffs. I mean, we're going to talk a little about the matchup that we have next week, but for now, let's just keep on talking about this game. I mean, what an absolute phenomenal way to get into the playoffs.
We are the one in 45-1. 45-1. That was Sean McVay's mark at halftime going into this game, leading at halftime. 17-3 at half. Yeah, I can't tell you how important that field goal drive shortly before the half was in the grand scheme of things. I mean, every single point, every single possession mattered in the grand scheme of things. And I'll say it again. I am going to shamelessly say it. I love that man, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't care. I know it's a roller coaster, but if you're saying you don't like roller coasters, then I don't know if I want you as a friend, to be honest. Because you know what? This is a fun roller coaster. At least we've seen some highs, we've seen some lows, but the highs outweigh the lows in my mind. You talk about that game-winning drive. I mean, how many game-winning, game-tying drives do we have to see from this man? I know that you could make the argument, why are we even in that spot? But you know what? It takes a lot of guts and effort, and that's what I appreciate. This man came in with a UCL injury. This man came in with a chipped bone. This man came in without his starting left tackle. His Hall of Fame level left tackle, Trent Williams, is gone. Shout out to McKivitz there for stepping in at the left tackle spot and doing a good job. Shout out to Daddy Brunskill. And I call him Daddy Brunskill, or at least Aaron Donald should call him Daddy Brunskill, because every single time the Rams and Niners face off, Brunskill, a guy who played, I think, at that like AFL or AAF or whatever it was called back in the day, he's the guy that's owning future Hall of Fame player Aaron Donald. Big 99. This is the guy that does a number on him each and every time. Well, by the way, while we're giving flowers, let's start off here with team MVP, Deebo fucking Samuel. Oh my God, 19 out there, passing, running, catching, literally doing it everything, blocking. I mean, speaking of wide receivers, Juan Jennings, give that man some praise. We were asking who's going to step up in that Mohamed Sanu role. We were asking who's the third best wide receiver on this team, taking over for Kendrick Bourne and Juwan Jennings. The man ran a 4.7. We were clowning him, 7th rounder last year out of Tennessee. I'm over the moon about this game. I mean, you talk about when's the last time we saw a game like this? I mean, 2019, week 17 kind of rings some bells, right?
Yeah. It was just that exciting, right? Final game of the season. Shout out to the NFL for having this week 18 games. I thought they were absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that, these last day games ended up with the Niners pulling out a victory in overtime. While we're giving flowers, Ambry Thomas, I know we've clowned on the guy. I know he gave up that big touchdown to Tyler Higbee early on in the game. And that's when it felt like the Niners just had no chance. And then he comes up with the play of his career, making that pick against Matthew Stafford in a way that the biggest weakness he had is that he could never make a play on the ball, right? Like that's the thing that was really, really bad about him the previous games. And the fact that he made a huge play on the ball there to seal us the win. I mean, it's just so fitting, right?
Right. It's funny coming in this game. I threw out a tweet out there, but y'all wanted a rookie to win this game for us. Am I right? Rookie sealed the deal. Ambry Thomas, perfect read on that ball. Game changer here. Matthew Stafford throwing picks. Once we start to get those turnovers going too. I mean, I know Jimmy was throwing the picks too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong here. But as soon as we saw Matthew Stafford, start cracks in the surface start to come through, second pick of the game to end the game. And even though I didn't want to get too cocky here, I was like, Matthew Stafford down the field goal, has to score the touchdown and win here in overtime. It just didn't really sound like something that was going to happen. But you know what? We sealed the deal. We locked down when we needed to. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans for coming together throughout the course of the season. He's gotten better and better. Now, I don't know what the playoffs holds for us. I don't know how far this team can go. But what I could say is if Ambry continues to get better, E-Man's back out there. This is the healthiest the defensive backfield has been all year. Jimmy is going to be the big question mark here because of his health more than anything toward this part of the season. Elijah Mitchell's out there. Deebo did look like he got a little banged up towards the end. I don't know the full story there. Hopefully he's back. I think the big one, though, and literally the big one here, is we need that big silverback out there, Trent Williams, on our left side of our line, because I don't care who we're facing in the playoffs. If you're missing that guy, that's going to be problems. He's consistently PFF's highest graded player every single week, like 98 point something. So Trent Williams, get healthy, elbow injury, rest up, put that thing on ice, go like a Tommy John pitcher, just like literally have the ice pack here all week. I don't care what needs to be done, but hell, get one of those big Barry Bonds level elbow guards. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, man, that is the biggest question mark going forward is if we're going to get Trent Williams back, because at this point, every single team that we face from here on out, starting with the Dallas Cowboys, they all could get to the quarterback, right? And if you're missing your Hall of Fame left tackle, that's not a good way to start the playoffs. But and I also want to give some credit to Kyle Shanahan as well. I thought in that second half, the way they started just dominating the line of scrimmage on both ends. Calls a trick play after 10 straight running rushes. And calls a trick play where Deebo Samuel just finds a wide open Juan Jennings. Only Kyle Shanahan would think of some stuff like that. And the fact that he was able to draw that up at that time, knowing how big of a moment that really was for the Niners at that point of the game. I mean, hats off to him. He's now 10-7 this year. The wins are starting to come for him. It happens when Jimmy Garoppolo is there. And, there were questions as if should Jimmy even start this game, right? If he's not 100%, why even throw him out there? Give Trey Lance a shot. I'm going to say it right now. It was the right choice to put Jimmy Garoppolo in that position because look what he's done. And he's done it countless of times. He just drives us down the field and wins us football games, that's the only thing he's ever done since he got to the 49ers was win football games. But for some reason, that's not good enough for people sometimes.
The entire first quarter, the entire first half. I can't tell you how many, if we lose this game, it's on Kyle. Fire Kyle. Why is Jimmy still out there? Pull 10, get him out of there. And you know what, people? There's a plan here. We got to let the plan play out. We got to see how things go. And you know what? 10-7 season, if we underperform in certain aspects, should we want a couple more games? Yes, absolutely. But you know what? 10-7 mark, second playoff appearance for Kyle Shanahan. I tell you, I had my doubts at early parts of the season, but I am glad, I am relieved to see that it all worked out in the grand scheme of things because I tell you what, I agree with you in this aspect. If we didn't make the playoffs and Trey Lance didn't start all season, that would have been a bit problematic there. But anyway, we're on to Dallas. We're going to Dallas. We're in my backyard here. I wish I could afford a game ticket without having to sell any internal organs, and otherwise I'd be there on game day. But you know what? We're going to Dallas. That's going to be a tough matchup. And the NFL, they are just licking their chops right now on this one.
Oh,
They're thinking, is this going to be the highest rated playoff game we've had in like multiple years? Certainly on opening weekend.
It could be.
Certainly on opening weekend. I expect this thing to pull numbers here. This is going to get the biggest primetime spot. This is going to obviously get, Joe Buck, Aikman treatment. This is going to get all the love.
The nostalgia on that game, I could already feel it, right? The gold helmets versus the stars and the silver helmets. I mean, it's just going to look awesome. Hey, faithful that are in the greater Texas area, show up to Jerry's World, man. Show up to Jerry's World, show them what's up, make it loud like we did at SoFi today.
And if you have a spare game ticket, I'm just saying, I'm just out here in Austin, Texas. That's just the 512. Come on, hit me up. We can just, 3-hour drive. We can take a little carpool up there. I'm okay with it, I'm sick that day. Anyway, guys, go ahead and leave a like on this video, of course, because it helps the channel. We got to get into playoff mode. Come on. You want us to get some more views out there before the playoffs, don't you? Come on, support the boys here. Leave some comments below. Game MVP, biggest moment. What do you think turned it around? How are we going to do against Dallas? Comment all that below. You're listening to 49 Reasons to Listen. 2 right here. Many reasons to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and do that. And we will see you next time.